Dr. Ben Carson, Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, joining me now. The first time that we both got to see that full report. I first want to get your reaction in terms of the need there.
Well, the need is overwhelming. And in a country like ours, which has so many resources and so much wealth, it really is abominable, particularly when you walk amongst the people there on the street and you look into their faces. You realize a lot of these people have mental health issues, a lot of them have drug addiction, some of them simply have fallen on hard times and don't know how to deal with it. But as a compassionate society, it is something that we have to do something about. We can't just talk about it. Should it be the responsibility of the federal government? No. These are local problems, and the things that work best are when the local authorities take appropriate attention to these problems, and then the federal government can help them, the state government can help them. That's what has to be done. That's what is done in places that are working successfully.
But apparently that's not happening fast enough. And as a doctor, I mean, this looks, and I'm a layperson, like an incredible, epic health crisis just ready to burst. I mean, when you hear about the defecation and all of those hypodermic needles and all the things that can carry contagion, and it's quite frightening. So the president looks at this and he says, no, the federal government can help. You heard from some of the people in Martha's reporting that, well, they don't believe you can. So what are the next steps?
Well, actually, the president is extremely concerned about this because of the epidemic that could occur. And so we're looking at both short-term and long-term. We have to actually get the people out of there.
Will they go?
Put them in a clean place. I think a lot of them will, and I think that the ones who are reluctant to go, once they see what's happening with the ones who have gone, will be much less reluctant to go.
So that's the first step.
Right. Then the second step is, you know, we have to find a more permanent solution for them. There are some public buildings in the area that can be repurposed for housing. But in the process of doing that, we're also looking at wraparound services so that we can get these people out of dependency. This has been a chronic problem in our country. We just say, let's house these people and we've done our job. That's not sufficient because the problem will continue to multiply unless we give people a way out.
Secretary Carson, this isn't just playing out in Los Angeles. The numbers are actually bigger in New York City. If we could pop up that graphic there. Over 60,000. Seattle, King County, over 11,000. District of Columbia, 6,500, 6,200 in Boston. I understand why, for the president and anybody in an election year, California is politically juicy. But it goes beyond that. If the president can really help in California, would he be looking at other places?
Well, we would hope, rather than everybody saying, please come and get us out of this situation, that maybe they would look at some examples. You know, you take a place like San Diego, which is in California, so they can't say this is a unique California situation. But, you know, San Diego and the mayor there has recognized that one of the big problems is affordable housing. And so they are removing all of those barriers, reducing the fees, you know, looking at the regulatory things about height and density and wetlands and all of these kinds of things, and actually doing things that make sense. And it works. And it works in other parts of the country as well. Best practices. But, you know, this is an emergency situation, and that's why the federal government is going to have to step in if the local government doesn't do anything. Are we willing to work with them? Absolutely. Are they anxious to work with us? It doesn't seem so, but, you know, the door is quite open.
All right. Secretary Carson, we'll have to go on the road with you again to go maybe to some of those places where it's actually working and getting better. Thank you for your time.
Absolutely.